welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Neha and I make videos related to books, and welcome to a good old wrap-up video. I haven't really been reading for the last couple of months, which is why I'm combining August and September into one wrap-up video. August I finished only 2 books, and in September I finished 4 books. There are different reasons for each month, but mainly I was on vacation for 2 weeks. I went through a job transition, not transition, I just got added on more work to myself, and because of which I have been quite stressed and quite anxious and quite everything, honestly, in all the bad things in life. I have been feeling it. But anyway, first book that I managed to finish was Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufi Thorpe. This is a 2024 release. We follow the protagonist. Her name is Margot, and she is just fallen pregnant with her professor's baby. She's kicked out of college, she's kicked out of work, she's almost facing eviction. So a lot of things are crumbling in her life when her ex wrestler father, who's kind of estranged in her life throughout, it ends up at her doorstep. She decides to start an OnlyFans account in order to provide for her and her baby. What I really enjoyed about this book is that there are a lot of mishaps which happen to Margot throughout this entire book as she's figuring out life, as you know, hits come from all sorts of direction, and she does have breakdowns. She really has those moments when she feels like she's giving up, but she almost always picks herself up and tries to get a solve around it and ends up solving it. So it is a really heartwarming story in that essence, but it's also a very, very funny and casual read, and it also gives you an insight into this profession. Like, OnlyFans is such a new thing. I think it's only come in the last couple of years, and especially in a profession that's always drawn a lot of judgment, drawn a lot of criticism. But this website lets people earn in a legitimate way and lets them set their own boundaries, and it gives you an insight into what goes kind of behind the scenes, and kind of what, you know, how it is also a successful business. Like, you know, Margot really runs it like a business. Like, she wants to get better at it simply with the aim of getting more views and getting more money. Like, she runs it as a business, and through that you see what an enterprising character she is. So I really enjoyed reading this book, especially the dynamic between her and her father, who comes from a very different world but is also so fully invested into Margot's new career and tries to help in whatever way possible. I really liked their dynamic, and overall I had a fun time with this book. I would definitely recommend it to you if you're looking for a light read, but it also touches a few heavy topics. The next book that I finished in August, and the last one, is Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. This follows Takako. She is kind of again at a crossroads in her life. Like, she's trying to figure out what she wants to do with life, and she is a bit lost when her uncle invites her to live with him and help him run their family bookshop. Now, this bookshop is in this part of Tokyo which is filled with second-hand bookshops, and so is hers, and each of them specialize in a different kind of book. And Takako is someone who wasn't really interested in books. So at first she's like, what am I doing here? But then she slowly gets involved in the bookshop. You know, all the regular patrons, she gets invested in their lives, and she also starts reading, and she falls in love with books. I am a little ambivalent about this book, because I'll tell you why. For the first half, when we were concentrated in the bookshop and Takako is kind of finding herself through reading, I was fully in it. Like, I loved the premise of it, and I was really in Takako's journey of finding herself, and I was enjoying it. But then she decides to move out and she gets a different job, and she really doesn't come back to the bookshop as much. Her relationship to the bookshop is lessened in the second half, and it's more on her uncle and his wife, and she trying to fix that relationship. So it takes a little bit of a weird turn. So that's what I didn't enjoy. I wanted, like, literally the title says Days at the Morisaki Bookshop. I wanted more days at the bookshop, but unfortunately it veers into like the personal element of it, and that's when I found the language, and or rather the translation, to be very, very, very flat. Like, I could not relate to the characters anymore in the second half. I wanted to leave it at, you know, the books and the reading and the power of books. I wished it was more into that direction. But yeah, Unfortunately, this one I would not recommend as a book about books, because it wasn't really about the genre that it promised it to be. So I think I would give this a 2 stars out of 5. It's only 2 books. It's really easy to pick which is the best book for me. I would say it is Margot's Got Money Troubles, because yeah, the other one was a letdown. Then moving on to September, like I said, I read a total of 4 books, and a couple of them I would say were more for me seeking comfort, and my slump in August continued into September. Bookshops in Bondas by Travis Baldry. This is book 2 of, not exactly book 2, I would say this is book 0.5 of this series. The first one is called Legends and Lattes, and I have raved about that book so much. In this book, we follow Viv again, Viv the orc, and this is before the events of the first book. Now she's injured during a mission along with the group of mercenaries that she's associated with, so she decides to rest in this town called Merk. Over there, she runs into this bookshop. The bookshop is run by this ratkin called Fern, and she gets involved in the running of the bookshop. Now, she's also someone who doesn't really read, and she goes to this bookshop and she again falls into this pattern of finding books and the healing power of books. Like, there are dark shadows lurking over the beach town, so she gets involved in that action as well. And there is like an extra little bone dust surprise element in this book, which I also thoroughly enjoyed, but I won't spoil it for you. I love this book. Once again, I knew that I would pick this book up and I would feel better, and that's exactly what happened. Reading this book felt once again like a warm little hug, especially because we know Viv from before. She is like this coffee fiend. In book 2, she sets up a cafe, if you know what I mean. But in this one, she is still very much a mercenary, so her brain is still tuned like that, but she's slowly discovering the softer aspects of life, like books, like bakeries, like spending time in nature, not just killing and bloodshed and all of that. So I really enjoyed this book. This is also one of those soft core books that you read to feel better, you read to heal, and that's exactly what happened. I love this genre of books, and I would give full credits to Travis Baldry for introducing me to this genre of books this particular year, and I'm so excited to continue on this journey. I would say this was 4.5 stars on 5 for me. Legends and Lattes had set such a high bar for me because I just loved reading that. This was a little short of that, but overall I really enjoyed it. I finished Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. This is also a 2024 release, and I have been looking forward to this book because everybody on the internet has been raving about it. So we follow Cyrus Shams. He is an Iranian American, and he lost his mother in kind of like a senseless thing where she was flying to America and her in an Iranian plane, and her plane gets shot down by the American forces because they thought it was a war plane or something of that sort. So his life starts off with this very irrational kind of tragedy that has struck him, and when we meet him in this story, he's a recovering addict, and he is kind of trying to find the purpose of life. So he hits across this concept of being a martyr. I liked it. It is a very very beautifully written book. Kaveh Akbar turns out is a poet, and I feel like when poets write novels, the story sometimes the story aspect of it is downplayed a lot, and it's concentrated mainly on the lyrical aspect of it because they want to prove that how well they can write, and like the twist of words and the song of the words is so exaggerated. But this one, I felt like it always had a strong plot. Right from the get-go, I was invested in what is happening with Cyrus and what happens in his life. The twist, I feel like I saw coming. I kind of felt like this is going to happen. I didn't know exactly how it's going to happen, but I feel like I felt like it is going to happen. But I did enjoy it. I would say this was a 4 stars on 5 for me. But definitely recommend everyone check this book out. It's highly raved on the internet. So yeah, I'm just adding to the collective noise already out in the internet. Then then unfortunately a bit of a letdown book for me is The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. Again another 2024 release, again a very much looked forward to release, because I think I mentioned him in my mid-year book freak out video as well. We follow Grace. Now she is a retired maths teacher and she is also a widow, but also she lost her son when he was very young, so that grief has always obviously tagged onto her throughout her majority of her adult life. And she gets this mysterious kind of summons from her long lost friend, who ends up leaving her house in Ibiza to Grace. So Grace decides to go to Ibiza to check out why would a random friend leave her a house of all things, and there she kind of gets involved in the local economy, in the local community, in the local issues, and there is something mysterious, magical realism thing which also hooks her in and literally takes her into the sea. I don't like it when books which I think are about one thing randomly become about another thing. Like it became so mystical and too magical, and I didn't enjoy the ride, honestly. Like I think I was enjoying this book until about here, when my last tab is at about halfway, and then all of this I just speed read because I could not believe the turn this book had taken. I was enjoying a sweet grandmotherly tale about somebody in her second innings or something like that, and very randomly it became about literally out of this world experiences. And I don't want to spoil it. If anybody is really interested in reading this book, do check it out, but it was just not for me. I would rate this book probably 2.5 stars out of 5. Last book for this video is again a very different book from me. I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I was randomly on Scribd on my iPad and I was just looking for a couple of light reads, and this is a romance book. It's not a rom-com, it's a straight up romance, young adult romance book. It is set in a college and we follow two different athletes. Anastasia is on the ice skating team and Nate is on the ice hockey team, and by some circumstance both these teams are forced to share their ring together, and that's where these two characters meet each other. And Nate falls in love with Anastasia is attracted to Nate, but she does not like him and what he stands for because she is forced to share her ring with him. And there's like a toxic boyfriend, there's a toxic partner, there is some random little mystery which is thrown in on who destroyed this particular thing, which is the premise of this. There's a lot of frat parties and there is a lot of smut. There is an extreme amount of smut in this book. I haven't read a smut filled book of this extent in a while, and when it started off, it didn't feel like there would be that much. It started off small, but then when it hit that spot of going into smut kingdom, it went there. And I mean, it was a fun read. It definitely helped me finish another book. It had some fun moments because it's set in a college and there are all these things which are happening and all of that. So I lived vicariously through it, the college experience, but I don't know if anybody in college is having this much smut, or maybe they are. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in college. So anyway, if you're looking for a fun romance book, if you're looking for a proper romance book, I would say that do check this one out. I think it's a series. The series is called Maple Hills #1. Maple Hills is the college in which it is set, and yeah, do check it out. I think it's following like the friend group afterwards in the other series. The friend group was fun. I liked Anastasia as a character, but she would just become like butter in the hands of Nate. Otherwise, she was a strong character, but whenever they would meet, she would be like butter. And I don't know how I feel about that. But overall, yeah, if you're looking for something like this, then do check it out. Not really my thing, I would say, anymore, but it's all the purpose. It helped me read. So I would rate this 3.5 stars out of 5. So not too bad, honestly. The rating, given how some of the other books have been, not too bad. So to give the best book of September, without a doubt, two bookshops in Bondas. I actually really like Martyr as well, but this one stole the cake for me. It was so sweet and cozy, and it had all the good things in life. And yeah, the way this year is going, I need all the good things in life. So those are all the books that I finished in August and September. If you're still here, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.